Good morning. I hope you're all doing well. I've got a little goodie to share with you. This is Titanic related. Unfortunately, this is a reproduction and not the original thing. My heart tells me it's exciting. My heart tells me it's the real thing, but my brain reminds me that it's not. But if I can't have the original to show you, the second best thing is a reproduction. I'm talking about, this is actually a brochure travel guide from the White Star Line. When you boarded Titanic with a first class ticket, part of your package was this. This included a list of all the first class passengers on your cruise, the amenities and extras that you can purchase, as well as the scheduling and routes of the different ships in the White Star Line. And of course, I'm going to want to go through this with you. So I'm going to do it page by page. I'll give you a quick run through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the scanner so that it's crystal clear for you, because this is pretty small. And by doing that, you'll be able to see everything in high definition. You'll be able to see everything in crystal clear print form. And it'll be a lot easier to be legible, ledger-wise. So, like I said, I'm going to go through with you every single page. You can see the list of passengers. And the way they made this folded, and you can see the rust in the between where the staples are. Like I said, this was taken from the original. It's a reproduction. And yeah, I love it, the fact that it's the Titanic, and this is actual. So this is actually a reproduction from the original document. I don't know if it's the same size. I'm wondering if the original document was even larger, but they scale it down just so people won't be able to falsify it and claim it as authentic. You see the different things you can get when you're on your cruise. And this is interesting. The list of services in different ships. It shows their routes. And it's going to be fun to go through everything with you in this book. We've got more of the route scheduling. You can see a nice depiction of RMS Titanic, or SS Titanic. In the back has the steamer schedule. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan it into the computer on a really high resolution, and I'm going to go through this with you page by page. So looking at the cover, we get the White Star Line, and we have the White Star in the middle. And you can see the kind of crease that's running down the center of it, like it was folded. It really adds to the authenticity. Of course, this one is not authentic. This is a reproduction. But this was actually given to the first class passengers when they boarded Titanic. It shows some of the things they can get aboard ship, and it shows some of the alternate, rides they can take on the ships. Different routes. Looking at the front, the White Star Line, you can see the places that they go. They have Southampton, Cherbourg, I hope I'm saying that right, Cherbourg, Queenstown, New York, Liverpool, Boston, Quebec, Montreal, Azores, the Mediterranean, Royal and United States mail steamers. Now it shows different
ships in the White Star Line, not only Titanic. This one is unique in the fact that I'm interested because it was actually given to the first class passengers on Titanic. I don't know if that's the Titanic on the bottom. I can't tell if that's the Titanic or the Olympic. Going on, we open it up. The first thing we see on the inside is the White Star Line, the largest steamers in the world. Olympic, triple screw, 45,324 tons. Titanic, triple screw, 46,328 tons. It shows the American and Canadian services, mail and passenger steamers, the Olympic, Titanic, the Oceanic, the Laurentic, the Adriatic, the Baltic, the Cedric, the Celtic, the Arabic, the Cretic, Cymric, Canopic, and the Majestic. The Laurentic, triple screw, the Magentic, twin screw, and the Teutonic, twin screw. Interesting names. The Colonial Services to New Zealand, the Authentic, which is a twin screw, the Iconic, the Corinthic, and the Delphic. The Australian Services are the Afric, which is a twin screw, as is all these listed, the Persic, the Suvic, the Medic, the Runic, the Cufic, the Tropic, the Bovic, the Georgic, and the Sevic. White Star has a lot more ships than I had thought. The winter sailings to the Mediterranean and to Egypt during the season 1912 to 1913 will be maintained by the mammoth twin-screw steamship Adriatic and the Cedric. The Cedric being 21,035 tons, the Adriatic 25,000 tons. These are two of the largest vessels in the world, and the Cedric and the Canopic, the largest vessels regularly in the Mediterranean trade. From New York to Boston, via the picturesque island groups, the Azores, the Madeira, the Gibraltar, and Algiers, Monaco, Venice, and the Riviera, Italy and Egypt. For full particulars of sailings and ports of call, see schedule. Special sailings of the Adriatic and the Cedric from New York. You can see in 1912 the Adriatic, November 30th. Should go to Madeira, Gibraltar, Algiers, Naples, and Jonah. The Adriatic in 1913, January 8th, will go to the Azores, Madeira, Gibraltar, Algiers, Monaco, Venice, and the Riviera, Genoa, Naples, and Alexandria. The Cedric would sail on January 22nd, the Adriatic February 19th, and the Cedric March 5th. All these steamers are twin screw and are fitted with Marconi wireless telegraphic apparatus and submarine signaling. The extensive promenades, lounge, library, smoking rooms, and the beautiful saloons extending the full width of the ship and so located as to minimize motion have ever made them extremely popular with passengers and the ideal ships for the southern trip. The Adriatic has also a fully equipped Turkish bath, electric baths, and plunge bath and gymnasium. And incidentally, this is reproduced by permission of Independence Seaport Museum in Philadelphia. The next page, we go on to show the list of the first class passengers. Royal and U.S. Mail SS Titanic, triple screw, 46,328 tons, from Southampton to Cherbourg to New York, via Queenstown, Wednesday, April 10th, 1912. So they were given this as they boarded the Titanic, headed for New York. Go over to the next page. The White Star Line, RMS Titanic, 46,328 tons. One of the 2 largest steamers in the world. And it talks of the restaurants. In addition to the regular dining saloon, there is a large modern a la carte restaurant on Deck B. I think that's Deck B or Deck 8. Could be Deck 8, where meals may be obtained at any time between the times of 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. at fixed charges as shown on the bill of fare issued from day to day. Passengers wishing to use the restaurant should apply on board to the manager for the reservation of seats. The restaurant is under the management of the company. In addition to the restaurant, it talks of the Turkish and the electric baths. A fully equipped Turkish bath is situated on Deck F, consisting of the usual steam, hot temperate shampooing and cooling rooms. Electric baths and a swimming bath are also provided in conjunction with the same, and experienced attendants will be in charge. The Turkish baths are available for ladies from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and for the gentlemen from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets being obtainable at the inquiry office at a charge of $4, I don't know what that is, or $1 each, which includes the use of the swimming bath. Separate swimming bath tickets can also be obtained at 1 shilling or 25 cents, including use of costume. I'm not sure what the costume is. Maybe it's a towel or like a bathrobe. The swimming bath is open between the following hours. Gentlemen, free of charge from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. 25 cents from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Ladies are free from 10 a.m. to noon. And the charge is, I can't make that out if that's 25 cents or from noon to 1 p.m. The charge includes use of costume. It also speaks of the gymnasium on board, totally supplied with modern appliances, situated on the boat deck, and is open for exercise by ladies and gentlemen during the same hours as the baths, no charge being made for the use of these appliances. The gymnasium will be available for children from 1 to 3 p.m. only. The Titanic also boasts a squash racket court, is provided on Deck F, and is in charge of a professional player. Tickets for the use of the court may be obtained at the inquiry office at 2, I don't know what that is, 50 cents per half hour, to include the services of the professional if required. Balls may be purchased from the professional, who is also authorized to sell and hire rackets. The court may be reserved in advance by application to the professional in charge, and may not be occupied for longer than 1 hour at a time by the same player if other players are waiting. And on the bottom, it's the clothes pressing and the cleaning room services. The clothes pressing and cleaning room is in charge of the expert attendant, who will carry out any work of this kind for ladies or gentlemen in accordance with a fixed printed tariff of charges, which can be had on application to the bedroom steward. So what do we got on the following page? We have it looks like another schedule. The Olympic triple screw, 45,324 tons, and the Titanic triple screw, 46,328 tons. The largest steamers in the world for Southampton to Cherbourg, Queenstown, New York service. Calling at Queenstown, let's see, is that wheatbound, and Plymouth. Inbound from Southampton to Cherbourg. You see the dates, starting April 3rd of 1912, the 3rd, the 10th, the 24th, May 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th, and it goes down. The sailing hours will be at noon. The day's Wednesday. It seems all of the days are on Wednesday. And sailing about, so it would leave at noon up until, let's see, sailing about 4:30 p.m. So the steamers from New York, you can see the top one is the Olympic and Titanic. These two really dominate this schedule. And April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. So it gives the year's schedule. Sadly, the Titanic would only make one. It wouldn't make any of these. It would be lost on its maiden voyage. And the other ship in this category is the Oceanic. So this is the schedule. This is interesting. On the next page, we have a special notice. The attention of the managers have been called to the fact that certain persons believed to be professional gamblers are in the habit of traveling to and fro in Atlantic steamships. In bringing this to the knowledge of travelers, the managers, while not wishing in the slightest, disagree to interfere with the freedom of action of patrons of the White Star Line, desire to invite their assistance in discouraging games of chance, as being likely to afford these individuals special opportunities for taking unfair advantage of others. So they had scammers even back then. Let's see, going on to the next page, we have the first class passenger list. Per Royal and U.S. Mail, the SS Titanic from Southampton to Cherbourg to New York via Queenstown, Wednesday, April 10th, 1912. Captained by E.J. Smith, R.D. Let's see. The surgeon will be W.F.N. O'Laughlin. And the assistant surgeon will be J.E. Simpson. The chief steward is A. Latimer. And the pursers, H.W. McElroy and R.L. Barker. Let's see. And below that, Miss Elizabeth Allen Walton, Mr. Thomas Andrews, and of course Mr. Andrews was in charge of designing the Titanic. Allison, Mr. H.J. Allison, Mrs. H.J. Allison, and their maid, Miss Allison, I'm presuming is their daughter. Master Allison and nurse, maybe that's their son, I'm not sure. And Mr. Harry Anderson, Miss Cornelia Andrews. Is that Mrs. Andrews? Did Thomas Andrews take his wife? I'm not sure. I don't recall that. Mrs. Appleton, Mr. Raymond, how do you pronounce that? Arta Gavacia? Arta Gavacia. Colonel J.J. Astor, Mrs. J.J. Astor, and their maid, Mrs. Aubert, and maid. So moving on to the second page of that, we get more names. Mr. A.H. Barkworth, Mr. E. Brandeis, Mr. J. Browman, Mr. George Brayton, Mr. James Baxter. I'll just kind of run down through the names. If you want to read them all, you can pause the video. Let's see if anything sticks out, like some really big names. Like Mr. Andrews stuck out. He was the designer. And the last, Brady, Mr. John B. Brady on the bottom. And Miss William E. and maid Carter. So that's the last names on that page. Moving on to the next. Let's see, it's still the Carters. We have Miss Lucille Carter, Master William Carter. And then it goes over to Mr. Case, the Comptons, the Crosbys, the Clarks, and down at the bottom there's Mr. Washington Dodge. There are more Dodges on the next page. I wonder if that's any relation to the Dodge Chemical Company for the embalming fluids. You got Fortune, Franklin, Douglas, and moving down there are Gibson, and at the bottom is Mr. Graham. Moving on to the next page, you got more Grahams. Hayes, Host, Hilliard, Guggenheim, and down at the bottom is Mr. Ismay. I'm thinking that's J. Bruce Ismay and Manservant. Going on to the next page, Jacob. You got the Kents, the Marvins, the Myers, and down at the bottom, the Minihans. And the next page, we've got the Minihans, the Parrs, the Moores, the Morgans, the Newells, the Potters, the Ostby, and on the bottom it's Mr. Rood. R-O-O-D. I think that's how you pronounce his name. The Rosenbaums are on the next page. And obviously these are in alphabetical order. Smiths. I don't know if they're any relation to Captain Smith. The Solomons, the Spencers, the Steeds. And on the bottom, Mrs. Max Frolisher, Stethly. I hope I pronounced these names right. And the next page, let's see, we've got the Stengels, the Thayers, the Thorns, the Tuckers, the Vanderhoofs, the Warrens, and going down to the Whites, Mrs. J. Stewart with maid and manservant. And this looks like the last page in alphabetical order, the Wicks, the Williards, the Widner, the Wrights, and it ends off with Miss Marie Young. So those are the names. If you want to check them out and go into more detail, you can pause the video. The next page has the steamer, rugs, and chairs availability. Steamer rugs and chairs can be hired on application to the inquiry office at a charge of $4 for each of the voyage. I'm not sure what that is. £4, $4 for. If anybody can help me out in the comments, what does that line mean? I'm not familiar with that currency. Notice the landing arrangements at New York. Should the steamer arrive at the New York wharf after 8 p.m., passengers may land if they wish to do so and have their baggage passed by the customs authorities immediately on arrival. But those who prefer to remain on board may do so and have their luggage passed the following morning, not earlier than 7 o'clock. Breakfast will be served to those who remain on board overnight. I would rather stay on the ship as long as I can. Looking at the next page, let's see, we have another schedule, White Star, Dominion Canadian service. So this is Liverpool and Portland, Maine. Calling at Halifax, NS westbound. From Liverpool, calling at Halifax. Embarking hour, the first class, you need to report. Second class, it shows the steamer from Portland on the right-hand side. The Dominion, Canada, Magentic. And let's see, that's all. The next section, Liverpool, Quebec, Montreal, from Liverpool, and it shows you the dates and the times for first class and second class to report. From Montreal, the steamer, it shows the dates and it shows the ship area departing from Montreal, and a little asterisk at the bottom, from Quebec to Portland direct. White Star Line steamers, the Laurentic, the Magentic, carry first, second, and third class passengers. The Centric and Teutonic carry second and third class passengers only. Dominion Line steamers, Canada and Dominion, carry second and third class passengers only. Special thanks for passengers leave Euston Station, London, direct to Riverside Station, Liverpool, in connection with the Abor sailings. So, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading that, but okay, what's the next page is another, it looks like a schedule from Queenstown, New York service, from Liverpool, and from New York. Let's see, March 4th, 14th, Thursday. You can see the first class passengers have to report no later than these times. And the second class passengers have the times to report as well. And in the right hand column, from New York, and it shows the date, the time, the sailing hour, and it shows the steamer. The Celtic, the Rentic, the Adriatic, the Baltic. There's quite a few ships that White Star Line has. I wasn't really familiar with all of them. Be an interesting study to look up all the ships and see the entire fleet of the White Star Line. On the bottom, westbound, special trains for passengers leave Enston Station, London, direct to Riverside Station in Liverpool in connection with the above sailings. And the public telephones with booths and operators on all New York piers. And that was a big thing at the time, telephones. The next page is the Liverpool, Queenstown, Boston service, and the left-hand column is from Liverpool. You can see the dates and the times that the first class and the second class are due to arrive, and the right-hand column is from Boston. And you can see once again the dates, the sailing hours, and the names of the ships that are going to be sailing from there. And on the bottom, Majestic and Arabic carry first, second, and third class passengers. The Cymric carries second and third passengers only. So what's the next page? This is really, this is a big schedule. Mediterranean service, subject to change. So the left-hand column, the two Mediterranean ports, and you can see the steamer, the name of the ship, the date of the sailing, the month, and you can see from Boston, the days, the sailing hours, and it shows you when it's the estimated arrivals at the stops, due at the Azores, Algeria, Naples, etc. And on the right-hand side, from the Mediterranean ports, you can see the times that they would be sailing from, and the same thing, they show when they're going to be due at the different stops and locations. And on the bottom, calling at Montego for Nice and the Riviera the day previous at arrival at, I can't really read this, calls at Enzina, Murray Day. I can't, I'm having a hard time reading the bottom of this. Will call at Almerica. Westbound sailing hours from Alexandria, Genka, and Naples at 3 p.m., 10 a.m., and 5 p.m. The twin-screw SS Adriatic, 24,540 tons, and Cedric, 21,035 tons, are the largest British steamers in the Mediterranean trade. So that's the Mediterranean service schedule. So moving on, we've got the all twin-screw steamers, the White Star Line, Liverpool to Australia, calling at Cape Town, South Africa, Albany, I don't know how to pronounce that, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney on the outward voyage, and Sydney, Melbourne, Albany, Durham, Cape Town, Plymouth, and London on the homeward voyage. Direct service by steamers of the White Star Line. The Afrio is 11,946 tons. The Medic is 11,985 tons. The Persic is 11,974 tons. And then you have the Runio at 12,482. And the Suavio at 12,531. That's in tonnage. The accommodations, this is of a superior description and unusually spacious, including reading, smoking, and dining rooms, excellent lavatory and bathroom accommodation. An expert surgeon and a stewardess to attend to the ladies and children are carried. Note, the Australian passenger steamers are fitted with the Marconi system of the wireless telegraphy. One class carried only. Fares include all cabin and table furnishings. From New York or Boston to New Zealand, via Liverpool, London, and South Africa. The New Zealand steamers are operated by the Shaw, Saville, and Albion Company, Limited of London, and proceed from London via Tenerife. Again, I'm sorry for I'm mispronouncing. I'm having a hard time reading these. South Africa and Hobart to their ultimate destination, and return via Cape Horn, Montevideo, or Rio de Janeiro, and Tenerife, belting the globe and offering opportunities for a unique voyage round the world. First, second, and third class passengers are carried. And then after that, it's Southampton, Cherbourg, Greenstown, New York service. Calling on Queenstown, which is westbound, and Plymouth, eastbound. Cross-channel passages. These steamers carry passengers between Southampton, Cherbourg, Plymouth, and Queenstown at the fares named below, which include an excellent table and all necessities. This makes one of the most comfortable routes to and from France and England, and is also the shortest and best route to the south of Ireland. Special trains to and from Paris and London connect with the arrival and departure of the steamers, which leave Southampton and Cherbourg every Wednesday, and usually leave Plymouth and Cherbourg for Southampton every Saturday. You can see underneath there's a table: Southampton to Cherbourg, Cherbourg to Southampton, Plymouth to Cherbourg, Plymouth to Southampton via Cherbourg, and Cherbourg to Queenstown, Southampton to Queenstown via Cherbourg. First class, you can see 30 with that line. Second class is 20, and I'm not sure what that slant line it represents. The highest is Southampton to Queenstown, which would be 80 for first class. Passengers are permitted to break the journey at any of the ports named preceding to their destination by any later steamer of the White Star Line or America Line, tickets being interchangeable. The railway fares are as follows, and it shows you the destinations, the first class, second class, and third class prices, and that's on the bottom of that page. So moving on to the next one, we've got the White Star Line, and that could be a very lovely picture of, could either be the Titanic or could be the Olympic, that they were pretty similar. Olympic triple screw 45,324 tons, and Titanic triple screw 46,328 tons, the largest steamers in the world. And then after that, the back of the book is White Star Line Royal United States Mail Steamers, and you have a log. It's like appears to be like a souvenir log. You can write your voyage down. You can do the date, the latitude, the longitude, distances, and where you were and where you traveled to and from. And that's the back of the book. So that was a detailed look at this wonderful piece of history.
And that is what the first-class passengers received aboard the Titanic on the voyage to New York. And I hope you enjoyed this video, this little White Star Line treat. And I'll be coming up with more videos. I'll be doing more videos on the Titanic herself, as well as the model kits. The latest Titanic model kit that I'll be doing a video on is the premium edition with the LEDs. It's got the wood deck, and that will be the Academy, the numbered one. So that's probably going to be my next Titanic related video, model-wise. I've got some documents that I want to share with you guys. Again, they're reproductions. But a reproduction, in my mind, is better than nothing, especially if it comes from the original, as this did. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you real soon with another one.